are you?
Just hit record here. So, where are you zooming in from me today?
England.
Oh,
Uh,
very good.
Europe, yes, it's just turned nighttime, and yeah, I've just come home from touring. Mm.
Oh, you toured Europe already.
Not touring Europe, and that was misleading. I played a few festivals, but I was on two cruises, metal cruises,
Right.
Baltic, going to Sweden, Poland, Lithuania, etc. And so it was kind of a tour of sorts, but
We're a little
always
different.
always
You're-
on the same ship,
Yeah, right. Oh, wow. Very
The
good.
audiences kept changing because there were two cruises back to back.
Oh, that's very cool. Very unique. All right. Well, thanks for taking some time with me today. I did want to get into your new tour that you're going to be coming over to America here pretty soon. So, this Pictures of Destiny seems to blend your music with strong visual and philosophical elements as well. What inspired this concept to tour this way?
Um, well, I'm I love oil painting. I love painting in oils. I paint large canvases um, of yeah, allegorical subjects, flying horses, winged creatures, anything that you don't see on this planet.
Okay.
Yeah, some people might call it fantasy or whatever. But I used to paint in the late 80s, but then had to give it up because I developed an allergy against the solvents. And it was, I always ended up with strong stomach pains after an hour or so. So I gave it up. And in recent times, I found out that nowadays they have paints and solvents that don't do that to you anymore. So I tried it and it worked. And then I was bitten by the bug. I exploded in my art studio, and cranked out one after the other.
Wow.
Some of them are not fully finished, but they were definitely good enough to be shown. And these paintings are all based on my lyrics or on the music. They're a direct reflection or refraction of the music of sorts in the visual realm. And so I thought, yeah, why not bring the whole thing together? I always used to go out with a backdrop and for many years and produce movies to go with the music, and now I'm doing that, but also bringing my artwork, and it works really well. Um, so we have this Pictures of Destiny concept is the first half of the show. The
Okay.
show comes in two parts, and it's very unusual format because the two parts are completely different from one another. First half is a lot of my new music, which is kind of symphonic rock, if you want to put a name on it. Um, Very melodic, dramatic, orchestral with a band, but also orchestra players. We're using samples, the whole thing, and the visuals with it.
Wow.
Then after the intermission, it couldn't be more different because we're going back way in time, and we are actually doing a celebration of 50 years of In Trance and 50 years of Virgin Killer, which were two of my most important albums when I was with the Scorpions.
Oh,
And
for
then
sure.
exactly 50 years old because they were recorded in 75 and 76. So we're doing a best of with the band. And this combination between these two completely different worlds uh, may seem a little crazy on paper, but whenever we've done it, and we have done it in Japan recently,
Okay.
it just worked beautifully. And there was no conflict. The first half melted into the second, and then people were just very happy, and so were we. These were some of the best concerts I've ever done. And now I'm bringing it to America.
Sure. Oh, we're
Uh,
excited to have you.
because American audiences are just right for this stuff. I've played in your country so many times, so I think I really know my audience there, you know.
Right. For sure. Now I read it's a seated show, so there are seats for
Yeah,
everybody, so we can totally be immersed with what you were doing on stage.
yeah. On my last tour, I had a lot of standing only places, which I personally, it's okay when you play only the rock stuff, but the first half, I want like a total immersion where you can sit back and drift off like you're in an IMAX cinema. And
Mm,
it's almost like an oral movie, you know. I like to take people on a trip of sorts.
mm.
And when you're standing for 3 hours, that's maybe not such a good idea. Although I'm standing for 3 hours, but then I'm only 70 years old, and hey, I've
For
got no
sure.
problem standing for 3 hours. But anyway, I don't want to inflict that on my audience, you know.
Right. For sure. Yeah, people forget that you're actually up on stage performing for 3 hours, and we have the seat and the luxury to do that.
And more. I mean, on some of the last tours, we used to do a 1 hour pre-show concert
Mm.
that brought it to 4 hours. Then you have like a meet and greet. Then you have a VIP event. I was on my toes for 5 hours, usually every day, you know.
Wow.
So this time it's not quite so intense, but it'll still, yeah, it'll keep me fresh.
Sure, absolutely. Now, you've always been known to kind of fuse rock and classical and spiritual influence as well. How does this Pictures of Destiny continue to kind of evolve with that fusion?
Well, the Pictures of Destiny is very much something which comes out of my own personal philosophy of life, so to speak. I've written a book during COVID. It's a huge tome of 600 pages, quite large. It's called In Search of the Alpha Law. And it's full of philosophical musings of the way I see the world for myself, which may be interesting to some people, and that's why I wanted to share that. Now, the music very much ties in with that.
Mm.
Every song has a meaning and a little bit of a message, and they're not even, most of them are not really songs. They're more like little symphonies in themselves. They're usually 10 minutes, 12 minutes, you know. I've done a new version of one of my old pieces, Sales of Sharon. I've done an orchestra version, which is now 15 minutes,
Oh,
and it's
wow.
going through all the motions. So, yeah, these things are all interconnected, and I'm kind of trying to, present a 360-degree picture of sorts.
Nice.
That is the intention at the back of my mind.
Right. Okay. Very good. Now, you mentioned the second half is Scorpion songs. When you perform
Mainly,
songs,
not only, mainly,
okay,
mainly
mainly.
Scorpions.
Right,
So
right,
I'm
right. Okay. But when you go back into your catalog with your era of the Scorpions, do you approach the songs differently, or do you kind of maintain the way that they were recorded?
They certainly are, all the important bits are there. We're playing them in the same key. We're
Hmm.
using the same lyrics, the same melodies, the same harmonies. Maybe the actual performance is a little bit more sophisticated than it used to be. Over the years, you learn how to do things better and more smoothly. And back then, there were some that we never performed live,
Hmm.
and and some also that we didn't perform to perfection. I think sometimes it takes some time to really develop a piece of music on stage. You grow with it, and I've always pushed the envelope because we never play them exactly identically twice. There's always quite a bit of room for breathing new life into it. So I really don't like a static performance which is identical night by night. It's just not me. We're taking chances. improvising certain parts. And even in the Scorpions, we used to always do that.
Mm,
Nowadays they don't do that anymore. But when I was there, we used to do that a lot, which means every concert is different from the other, you know.
sure, absolutely. Yeah. Um, Also, so the sky guitar has become synonymous with your sound. How has that instrument evolved over the years, and how does it kind of let you express the way you want to express music rather than another guitar?
Well, the sky guitar was for me a natural evolution from the original, my favorite guitar, the Fender Stratocaster, which was a perfect instrument, still is a perfect instrument. Sky guitar was never supposed to compete with it. What I wanted was a guitar that could play to a higher register, because that was the limitation that I didn't like about traditional electric guitars. So I came up with a shape that allows to have lots of extra frets, and the first one was built in 1983. And ever since then, I've played predominantly or almost exclusively sky guitars, because also they are with their tonal range and the spectrum of sounds that I can get, they enable me to play violin concertos like Vivaldi's Four Seasons or the Mendelssohn Concerto or Bach pieces at the original pitch.
Mm,
Whereas if I did Vivaldi on a normal standard Stratocaster, I would have to play it in the wrong octave, and then the entire structure of the piece falls apart, because
mhm,
Vivaldi is very conscious of where the notes are stacked and the big spectrum of what it is.
mhm.
And so that was really the main reason. And then over the years, yeah, sky guitars developed a lot. Um, the uh, sound system, or the pickup system, became very sophisticated, very powerful, probably the most strongest and most sophisticated in the world that I know, at least. And it had all sorts of things built in, effects, you name it. So it's like, yeah, it's a mean machine. You can do pretty anything with this guitar, and I do, you know. And
Mm,
at some point, people wanted um, to also have sky guitars, so we started putting them on the market, and they are being hand built by my favorite builder in Germany, and yeah, built to order. And through
wow.
the process, we came up with many different prototypes. You know, first 6 string, then it was 7 string, then I had 9 string flamenco sky guitars.
Mm,
Name it. We have all sorts of different ones, and they all have you know, their specific, abilities, or what they can do, or what they're good for. And yeah, it's
right.
a fascinating instrument for me.
Yes, for sure. Excellent. Excellent. Um, Now, you've mentored and inspired countless guitar players, throughout your career. What advice would you give to a young player trying to find their own unique voice in today's music?
Maybe don't listen too much to other players. Get your chops in order. Yeah, that is important, but don't put too much emphasis on it. Nowadays, there is a lot of talent out there. However, I find the journey at the moment is maybe a little bit too much in pursuit of technical brilliance,
Mm,
and the personal sound and personal touch and expression is wanting. Too many players start sounding like typewriters, I would say. And I'm not saying that derogatorily. There are amazing people around, but I would, for a young player who wants to be different and stand out, do the opposite. Don't play all the fast notes. Play the notes that go straight to the heart, and not too many, or not too many notes. I've done that in the past. I still do sometimes. But the older I get, the more I aim for just the most meaningful notes. And so it doesn't matter how fast you can hold a speech, to someone. It matters what you're actually saying. And a lot of
Exactly.
people are like this machine. And then when you listen closely, they're not saying anything. It doesn't mean anything. It's just empty gobbledygook, as we would say in England,
Oh, sure.
empty hogwash. I like that word. Poppycock. Um, yeah, these are all English terms. I don't know
Hmm.
if
Oh, sure.
any.
Oh, we have them here in America. Oh, yeah.
So, no, for a young player, do it differently from everybody else. Just go for your own voice. And yes, do learn the craft, become a really good craftsman. You should know music, not just the scales and arpeggios, understand the harmonies, understand the rhythms, and understand music from deep within and connect with it on the deepest level you possibly can. And then get inspired. And then the rest will come.
That's great advice. That's awesome. Thank you very much for that. So you got to be coming to Cleveland next month. Do you have any memories of playing in the Cleveland area throughout your career?
Yeah, always.
Mm,
Cleveland has always been good to me. Of course, we were always invited several times to come to the museum,
mhm.
so they were always very friendly there and showed us around. Um, but we used to play in this place, what's it called? Was the Agora or what?
The Agora, absolutely.
Right. Unfortunately, it is no more as far as I know. And
Yeah.
this playing in the place that I've never been to. But I certainly love the audience in Cleveland, and we always had a good rapport so far. Played
Mm,
there times.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So that's
Yeah, good. Yeah, the rock
very
and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is expanding, so there's a whole new
what?
edition going
Really?
on right now. So
Physically?
physically, yes.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like another 50,000 square feet or something like that. It's huge.
that's a lot. We always used to park our bus there. Because
Yeah.
when we go with our tour bus and we have an off day sometimes, the tour manager, okay, where shall we park tomorrow? And the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they were always good to us. So we were able to park in the middle of Cleveland, not quite in the middle, but within walking distance. And it was always nice. So yeah, it's great. I'm looking forward to it.
Good, very good. Um, so when fans do come to the show, hopefully we're gonna pack the place for you, the Mercury Lounge. What do you hope that fans will take away from this Pictures of Destiny experience?
Well, my favorite idea of that is I really like to take people on a trip, on a journey away from their everyday thing. So just like if you go into like a movie that really touches you, you go into a cinema. Ours is not that different, but with us, of course, the audience can interconnect, and that's different. Or even if they're just clapping or whatever, the presence of the audience makes a huge difference because we're all one in this. I always feel this strongly. You play different when there's nobody in the hall because there is so much psychic energy between all of us. I always feel we're really connected, and a lot of performers feel that. I'm not alone in that. So yeah, let's all go on this trip together. And for that time, I'm the captain of that ship. Sometimes I'm just a follower. And when they come to my show, yes, we go on this boat together, and we just um, you know take off into space. And then first half is quite spacey and quite trippy. The second half, we're going to bring them down a notch in a different way, and then it's more, well, I like to call it fun and games. Of course, we are playing some serious pieces also there, like Whip on the Sky, etc. But on the whole, it's sometimes little bit like a party, where the people know the music, and when we go into a trance or Cesar Chiron, they're just they get euphoric because they've known that stuff since they were, like 50 years ago. A lot of them, or
Right?
years ago, grown up with it, and it's it's just nice, to be able to have that experience.
Sure. Well,
Uli,
hey, you can captain this boat anytime you like, Uli. We love having you here. Um, I wish you safe travels, and I look forward to seeing you in November here in Cleveland.
right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much. We'll pack
Bye.
the place. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
All righty. Bye-bye.